There was once a woman in an ancient city. Her name was Amrapali. She was beautiful, not in the way mirrors approve, but in a way that unsettles the mind. People did not simply desire her, they lost themselves around her. Kings came, merchants came, scholars came. The city whispered her name like a spell. And yet, every night, when the music ended, when the perfumes dissolved into silence, she sat alone with a strange weight inside. Surrounded by abundance, she felt poor. Something within her kept whispering, there must be more than this. Pleasure had lost its color. Fame had turned tasteless. She had everything the world promises, and none of it touched her. She was like a golden cup, perfectly crafted, holding nothing. Ask yourself quietly, if fulfillment were in having, would the richest not be the most peaceful? One morning the city trembled with news. The Buddha had arrived. A man who had renounced a palace, power, certainty, and found something no throne could offer. They said he walked with such stillness that even birds forgot to sing. Something stirred in Amrapali, not desire, curiosity, wordless, dangerous, alive. She went to see him. When she approached, the monks stiffened. Silk, jewels, reputation. Her past walked before her like a shadow. They saw a courtesan. They saw impurity. They saw someone unfit for holiness. But the Buddha looked and saw none of this. He did not see a sinner. He did not see a profession. He saw a being trembling with a longing so deep it had exhausted pleasure itself. And he smiled, not a smile that seduces, not a smile that forgives, a smile vast enough to include everything, like the sky acknowledging a passing cloud. In that smile was a silent message. Nothing is wrong with you. And suddenly the question rises, what if judgment hurts more than any so-called sin? Amrapali bowed. Her voice shook. Lord, she said, I have lived a life the world calls impure. Can someone like me ever find peace? The Buddha replied softly, purity has nothing to do with what you have done. It has everything to do with what you see now. A lotus grows from mud, yet the mud never touches the flower. The past is finished. Only awareness matters. In that moment, something old began to die. Years of shame loosened their grip. Labels fell away. The silent burdens she had carried for so long began to dissolve. not through effort, but through being seen. She invited the Buddha to her home. The monks were shocked. A master accepting food from a courtesan, but the Buddha said, when a heart opens sincerely, it becomes the most sacred offering. Notice carefully. Truth is never offended by your past, only by your unconsciousness. The next morning, her house was unrecognizable. No perfumes, no music, no gold, only simplicity, only silence, only presence. When the Buddha entered, it felt as if light itself had crossed the doorway. He ate quietly, rice, fruit, water, no judgment, no distance, just presence. And in that presence, Amrapali understood something profound. Acceptance is the highest form of love, and awareness is the only purification that works. When he stood to leave, she bowed again. All my life, she said, I sold illusions. Today I have seen truth. Let this house no longer serve desire. Let it serve awakening. She offered her home and garden to the Buddha. That place became a monastery, a space where thousands came to sit, to heal, to awaken. Amrapali lived quietly from then on, no longer defined by her past, no longer trying to become anything. She lived like a steady flame, soft, clear, unmoving. People said her beauty deepened, but now it did not belong to the body. It flowed from peace. Consider this. What if transformation is not self-improvement, but self-forgetting? This story mirrors us all. We live imprisoned by labels. Sinner, saint, worthy, unworthy. We punish ourselves endlessly, believing change comes through condemnation. The Buddha did not lecture her. He did not demand repentance. He simply looked without judgment. And in that gaze, she saw herself as existence cease, pure, conscious, alive. Transformation does not happen through punishment. When light enters, darkness loses relevance. The Buddha did not forgive her because he saw there was nothing to forgive. He awakened her to what was always whole. This is not the story of one woman. It is the story of every being who has ever felt unworthy of love, peace, or truth. Desire became devotion, guilt became gratitude. A house of pleasure became a sanctuary of silence. And now, the most dangerous question: what if enlightenment is not becoming pure, but realizing you never lost purity at all? The Buddha never taught renunciation of the world. He taught clarity. When you see clearly, attachment falls on its own. When you see compassionately, judgment dissolves. When you see silently, the mind loses its noise. That meeting was not between a master and a sinner. It was between awareness and ignorance. And when awareness appears, ignorance vanishes. Just as darkness vanishes when light arrives. Remember this, your past is finite. The present moment is infinite. You do not need to become pure. You only need to awaken to the purity that was never absent. In the eyes of truth, there are no sinners and no saints. Only beings remembering their own light. And when that light is remembered, the search ends.